This is a tech deck. Headbanging will wreck your neck, and heck, even Willow Offgood was a peck.
Don't call me a peck.
Check. Welcome back to the Tacomaholic channel, everybody, where we feed your addiction for everything related to Tacomas. So go ahead and subscribe now, or else. Alright guys, finally getting around to mounting my tech deck, which I've had since Christmas. I know, better late than never. So in case you did not know, a tech deck is a mounting platform. You can see right here I already have the two ram balls installed on it. On your second gen Tacomas, the tech deck does slide right in here, right below your clock display, and you can see it juts out just a little bit so you can mount some things. Now some of you might be thinking, why the heck am I installing this when I already have the 2 TPAM unit up here, which you can see has tons of mounting spots for ram balls. Well, stick around, watch me install the tech deck, which will only take a minute or two, and you'll see why. The tech deck is made by Bird Dog Industries. If you want to grab one, I will of course link below so you can find that. There are 2 versions, the standard duty and I think it's either the heavy duty or extreme duty. The difference being, you can see this is the extreme duty, or the more sturdy of the 2. Can't remember what it's called. It does come with this custom aluminum cutout that just adds a little more support. However, for the install today, I'm just going to be installing it without the aluminum bar because I've heard the standard duty one, which does not include the bar, is plenty strong for most off-roading. So I'm going to test that out and get back to you guys. And of course the install without the aluminum bar is literally just 3 holes, 3 screws on either side of the wings right here. Whereas if I was going to install the aluminum bar, you have to take out the whole stereo and drill a few more holes to install this. And just a few basic tools for the install. You'll need a Sharpie or something to mark the holes, some kind of screwdriver to attach the screws, since I'm not going to use my power drill on these and risk cracking the plastic. Here are the screws it comes with. You need a 7/64 drill bit and of course a drill. And you might not need them, but it's good to have a pair of the regular plastic trim removal tools in case you need to pop out the climate control knobs to give yourself a little more room. All these things are fairly common. I will link to this below in case you need to grab a set, because this is super useful for all kinds of interior projects on your Tacoma. Alright, let me grab my little flashlight just to give myself a little more room. Get my CB cord out of the way and unplug my dash cam. Okay, on either side of the tech deck body there are these 2 pieces called the wings, and if it's going to show up on camera, there are 3 holes on each. So all you need to do for the first step, with everything fully assembled, you're just going to hold the tech deck in place where it's going to mount, mark all the holes on both sides with your Sharpie, and then remove the tech deck. Now I do have these aftermarket AJT climate control knobs, which are considerably thicker than the factory ones, and I went ahead and pulled those off because these were sticking out way too far for me to get the Sharpie lined up so I could mark the bottom 2 holes. The top 2 holes on either side weren't an issue, so if you have aftermarket knobs that stick out more than the factory ones, go ahead and remove those. Of course, they just pull right off. And if you can see, there are the 3 holes on this side, so just to give myself a little more room, I am going to go ahead and pop out the climate control. If you've never taken this out before, it is very simple. That's why I said just get one of these plastic trim tools. Don't use a screwdriver because that will scratch either the surface of the climate control center or the plastic under here. Just pop it under there on one side and you can see it comes out rather quickly, and then just give it a firm pull. It'll sound like it's going to break, but don't worry, it'll be fine. And then once you do that, you have 2 plugs back here to disconnect, and that'll be out of the way. You can see now I have a little more room to work, and I don't have the biggest drill right here. It's just a standard Makita, and on the first 2 holes it's relatively straight where I'm going to drill. The back one, it's at a slight angle, but I'm not really too worried about it because, again, you don't want to drill deep into this plastic. Obviously there's going to be wires and stuff right here, so I'm just going to barely break the surface, maybe 3/16 of an inch deep or 1/4 at the most, and then stop and pull the drill out. And there's one side, not too bad. Again, don't pull the trigger full blast, just go a little bit at a time, thread the needle. You don't want to damage anything, especially on this side since your 4x4 control switch is literally right there. Go ahead and do the opposite side and we're almost done. Got all the holes drilled, and I did line up the tech deck without the climate control knobs installed just to make sure they lined up. So I'm going to go ahead and reinstall this, get everything plugged back together, and then take a screwdriver and install the screws for the tech deck. When you're plugging the two controls for the climate knobs in, make sure you do it until they click. Then you just line up the tabs on either side and push everything in until it clicks again. I'm gonna wait to install the knobs just so I have room to use my screwdriver for the screws. Actually, holding this and like screwing everything in is probably gonna be the hardest part of the install.
One eternity later.
And there it is, fully mounted. Just take your time when you're screwing in the screws. You definitely don't want to strip them out. That'll be a huge pain in the ass. And just with these 6 side screws, this is plenty sturdy. You can see it's not moving at all when I'm like trying to jerk it around. So I think this will be fine for the off-roading I do. If you're jumping dunes in the desert, maybe go ahead and get the heavy duty one, but I think the standard is going to be fine for me. Just sort of crawling around forest trails and like light rock crawling. Alright guys, and here is why I specifically got the tech deck in addition to the 2 T-PAM. While I love the 2 T-PAM, for larger things it's not too practical since they're really going to stick up and maybe bump the windshield. Case in point, my ham radio, you can see with the antenna right there. If I put it up here, it's going to be hitting my dash cam, hitting the windshield, and just driving me crazy. Maybe even scratching the glass over time. So I got this mount. I'll link to this below again. If you have a ham radio, this is a popular Baofeng one. I'll put a link in the description below. Far superior to CB or regular walkie-talkies on the trail. And with the mount, and I'm not sure if I'm going to actually run it up here or take off the ram ball and mount it under so it can be actually a little lower. Of course, with the ram balls under here, you can see it might probably block the climate control knobs a little bit, so I'll probably leave it there since I don't really use the clock or my hazards that often, but middle of summer now, running the AC all the time, I'll probably leave it as is. There's a clip on the back you can see right here, clips right on there, snug. Still plenty of clearance up here with the antenna. I've got a good, I don't know, 6 or 7 inches. And the plan, again, with this other ram ball, I don't have a tablet yet, but I want to get some kind of, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 inch tablet, nothing huge, not like a full iPad, maybe some kind of mini, to put right here so I can use that for like navigating trails. Pull up the Maprika app, which is great. If you don't have that, check it out. Put the tablet right here, so I've got a little command central going, so one step closer to that. Love the way it turned out. Alright guys, another Tacomaholic mod in the books, this time tackling the ever popular tech deck. So go ahead and comment below, let me know what you think of the tech deck mod and if you plan on doing this mod yourself. As always, thank you so much for supporting the channel by watching this video. Help me grow the channel even more by sharing it with your friends on social media. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next video.